the rumble of a powerful engine, the distinctive roar that turns heads as a car drives by. For decades, certain engines have defined the character of American automobiles, transforming not just how our cars perform, but our entire automotive culture. American automotive history has been shaped by innovative engines that pushed boundaries, broke records, and captured our imagination. These weren't just mechanical components. They were the beating hearts that defined entire generations of vehicles and left lasting legacies in automotive history. Today, we're examining 4 legendary engines that truly changed the face of American cars. These power plants didn't just move vehicles, they moved entire industries forward and created automotive legends that continue to influence car design today. Chrysler HEMI, the legend of muscle car era. When people hear HEMI, they instantly think of power. Few engines have achieved such legendary status or created such a powerful brand identity. The Chrysler HEMI engine, particularly in its second generation from 1964 to 1971, defined the American muscle car era and continues to symbolize ultimate performance. The name HEMI comes from the engine's hemispherical combustion chambers, a design where the cylinders feature dome-shaped chambers with valves positioned at opposing angles. This design allowed for larger valves, better airflow, more efficient combustion, and ultimately more power than competing engines of similar displacement. While Chrysler introduced its first HEMI engine in 1951, it was the 426 HEMI of 1964 that cemented the engine's legendary status. Developed specifically for NASCAR racing, the 426 HEMI made its debut at the 1964 Daytona 500, where HEMI-powered cars finished in the top 3 positions. Richard Petty, driving a HEMI-powered Plymouth, won the race by over a lap, a dominating performance that led competitors to call the engine an unfair advantage. NASCAR eventually changed its rules, requiring engines to be available in production cars, which led Chrysler to introduce the Street HEMI in 1966. This 426 cubic inch, 7.0-liter beast officially produced 425 horsepower, though many experts believe it was significantly underrated. The true output was likely closer to 470 horsepower, an astonishing figure for a factory production car in the 1960s. What made the HEMI truly special was its performance potential. The engine's design gave it tremendous breathing capabilities, allowing it to produce power at high RPMs, unlike most other American V8s of the era. In stock form, the 426 HEMI could power cars like the Plymouth Road, Runner, and Dodge Charger to quarter-mile times in the mid-13-second range, exceptional performance for the time. When modified, the HEMI's potential seemed almost limitless, making it the preferred engine for drag racers. The HEMI became such a powerful marketing tool that Chrysler built entire advertising campaigns around it. The phrase, "that thing got a HEMI in it," became part of American popular culture. Competitors. Ford and General Motors developed their own high-performance engines in response, triggering the muscle car horsepower wars of the late 1960s, although Chrysler ended production of the 426 HEMI in 1971 due to changing emissions, regulations, and rising insurance costs. The engine's legacy continued. Chrysler revived the HEMI name in 2003 with a new modern design that maintained the hemispherical chamber concept while incorporating contemporary technology like variable valve, timing, and cylinder deactivation. The HEMI's influence extended beyond performance metrics. It created an enduring brand identity for Chrysler and established the blueprint for what an American performance engine should be. Even today, HEMI remains one of the most recognized engine names in automotive history, a testament to how completely this engine changed the perception of American performance cars. The Ford Flathead Phi 8, America's first affordable V8. When Henry Ford introduced the Flathead Phi 8 in 1932, it changed everything about American cars. Before this groundbreaking engine, V8 power was reserved exclusively for luxury automobiles that ordinary Americans couldn't afford. Ford's innovation was bringing this level of performance to the masses. The Flathead Phi 8, officially called the Ford Phi 8, displaced 221 cubic inches, 3.6 liters, and produced a modest 65 horsepower when it debuted. But raw power wasn't what made this engine revolutionary. It was accessibility. For the first time, a regular family could experience the smooth operation and increased power of a V8 engine. Ford achieved this affordability through innovative manufacturing. The engine block and crankcase were cast as a single unit, reducing production costs significantly. This design approach allowed Ford to price their V8-powered cars at just $460 in 1932, equivalent to about $10,000 today. The Flathead earned its nickname from its distinctive valve arrangement. Unlike modern overhead valve designs, the Flathead positioned its valves alongside the cylinders rather than above them. While this created some efficiency limitations, it made the engine remarkably simple to work on, a crucial factor that contributed to its popularity among early hot rodders after World War II. The Flathead V8's cultural impact extended far beyond engineering. It became synonymous with American car culture, powering everything from family sedans to the first hot rods. Its affordability and reliability made it the engine of choice for bootleggers during Prohibition, with famous bank robber Clyde Barrow reportedly sending Henry Ford a letter praising the engine's performance during getaways. Ford continued producing versions of the Flathead Phi 8 until 1953, with horsepower eventually reaching 110 in its final years. During its 21-year production run, over 8 million Flathead Phi 8s were manufactured, an astonishing number that demonstrates its enormous influence on American motoring. The legacy of the Flathead Phi 8 extends far beyond its production years. It democratized performance, established the Phi 8 as an American icon, and created the foundation for America's performance car culture that would explode in the following decades. Chevrolet small block Phi 8, the engine that powered America. If any single engine deserves credit for defining American performance for decades, it's the Chevrolet small block Phi 8. First introduced in 1955, this revolutionary engine would become the most produced engine in automotive history and establish a blueprint that continues influencing engine design today. The original small block coded the 265 for its 265 cubic inch displacement, 4.3 liters, was developed under the leadership of Chevrolet chief engineer Ed Cole. It produced 162 horsepower in its base form, impressive for its time, but its true potential would emerge through decades of development. What made the small block truly revolutionary was its compact design and lightweight. Compared to previous V8 engines, the Chevy small block was significantly smaller and 41 pounds lighter than Chevrolet's previous six-cylinder engine, despite offering much more power. This efficient packaging allowed it to fit in smaller vehicles, creating new possibilities for performance car design. The small block introduced several advanced features that were ahead of their time. Its overhead valve, designed with stamped steel rocker arms, was more efficient than previous designs. The engine used interchangeable cylinder heads and valve train components, drastically reducing manufacturing costs while allowing for easy modifications. Perhaps most important was the small block's remarkable adaptability. Through various displacements ranging from 262 cubic inches to 400 cubic inches, 4.3 to 6.6 liters, this basic architecture powered everything from family sedans to Corvettes for nearly 50 years. The engine reached its peak in the legendary L88 Corvette, producing an underrated 430 horsepower in 1967. The small block transformed Chevrolet's image and influenced America's entire automotive landscape. Before its introduction, Chevrolet was seen primarily as a maker of practical, economical transportation. The small block turned Chevrolet into a performance brand and forced competitors to develop their own modern V8 engines to keep pace. Hot rodders and racers embraced the small block for its combination of power potential and lightweight. Its affordability and wide availability meant that performance was no longer limited to the wealthy. A teenager could buy a used Chevy, modify its small block engine, and have a competitive street machine for relatively little money. The original small block architecture remained in production for an incredible 48 years, from 1955 to 2003, with over 100 million units produced. Even today's LS and LT Chevrolet Vive 8 engines, while technically different designs, carry forward many of the small block's fundamental principles. No other engine in history has powered more American vehicles or had a longer, continuous production run. The small block Phi 8 didn't just change Chevrolet. It fundamentally transformed American car culture by making serious performance accessible to ordinary Americans. Ford EcoBoost, redefining American power for a new era. For decades, Americans associated automotive performance with displacement. The bigger the engine, the better the car. Ford's EcoBoost engine family, introduced in 2009, fundamentally challenged this notion and ushered in a new era of American engines that could deliver impressive power from smaller, more efficient packages. The EcoBoost technology combines two key elements: direct fuel injection and turbocharging. Direct injection delivers fuel precisely where it's needed, in the combustion chamber, improving efficiency. Turbocharging uses exhaust gases to drive a turbine that forces more air into the engine, effectively giving a small engine the power of a much larger one when needed. This approach represented a radical departure from traditional American engine philosophy. Instead of relying on large displacement to create power, EcoBoost engines generate comparable or greater output from much smaller displacements, resulting in significantly improved fuel economy when the extra power isn't required. The impact became clear when Ford made the bold decision to offer a 3.5-liter EcoBoost 5.6 in its F-150 pickup truck, America's best-selling vehicle, as an alternative to the traditional V8. This engine produced 365 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, exceeding the output of the 5.0-liter V8 while delivering better fuel economy. Despite initial skepticism from truck buyers, the EcoBoost quickly became the F-150's most popular engine choice, accounting for more than 60% of F-150 sales by 2017. Even more dramatically, Ford used EcoBoost technology to reinvent its iconic Mustang. The introduction of a 2.3-liter four-cylinder EcoBoost engine, producing 310 horsepower in the 2015 Mustang, challenged decades of perception that true American performance cars required large V8 engines. The most extreme demonstration of EcoBoost's capabilities came with the second-generation Ford GT supercar. Rather than using a large displacement V8 like its predecessor, the new GT employed a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 that produced 660 horsepower, enough to propel the car to a top speed of 216 miles per hour and win its class at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2016. EcoBoost technology fundamentally changed how Americans view engine performance. Before its introduction, small displacement turbocharged engines were primarily associated with European and Japanese imports. Ford's achievement was making this technology appealing to traditional American buyers who previously dismissed small engines as inadequate. The broader impact has been transformative for the American automotive industry. Following Ford's lead, both General Motors and Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, have embraced similar downsized turbocharged engines. This technological shift has allowed American manufacturers to meet increasingly stringent fuel economy regulations while still delivering the power that American consumers demand. As we look toward an automotive future that will increasingly include electrification, the EcoBoost family represents a critical, evolutionary step, proving that American manufacturers could adapt to changing requirements without sacrificing the performance heritage that defines American cars. These four revolutionary engines, the Ford Flathead 5.8, the Chevrolet Small Block 5.8, the Chrysler HEMI, and the Ford EcoBoost, each arrived at pivotal moments in American automotive history. They didn't merely power vehicles, they transformed the entire American relationship with automobiles and performance. From democratizing V8 power for ordinary Americans to establishing the blueprint for an entire generation of muscle cars to redefining what performance means in the modern era, these engines have shaped not just how our cars drive, but how we think about them. As we look toward a future where electrification is playing an increasingly important role, the legacy of these groundbreaking engines reminds us that American ingenuity has always found ways to deliver exciting performance while meeting the challenges of their era. The story of American cars is ultimately the story of innovation, engineers and designers pushing boundaries to create something new. These four legendary engines represent the best of that tradition, and their influence continues to reverberate through automotive design today. If you enjoyed learning about these legendary American engines, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more automotive history and technology videos. Don't miss our upcoming features on the greatest American muscle cars and the future of performance engines.